Hey everybody, it's Jason Collins. Welcome. Today we have got a special treat for you guys. We're going to start building a shot using some fairly inexpensive equipment. Now, there's plenty of videos out there where people are using, high-end equipment, light heads that are, $1,000, $2,000, and while that is, while that's needed, I think sometimes people who are looking for more of an entry-level way to do things are probably looking at something that's a little less expensive. So today we're going to be using the Neewer, not really sure how you pronounce that. They stuck an extra E in it, so I assume that's Neewer. We're using the C250 set, which actually if you look on Amazon, you can find these in a 750 kit because there's 3 lights that come in it. Some of the kits you get have 3 soft boxes. Some of the kits you get have a couple of soft boxes and a couple of umbrellas. So today what we're going to do is we're going to use the most basic stuff we can. We're going to start out with some umbrellas. We have with us the amazing Anna, awesome Anna B. How do we do that?
Anna B.
Anna B works. She's going to be our model today, and we're going to be shooting. I'm doing this really, really low tech today. So I'm shooting with a Canon T3i. And then we're going to be tethered into Capture One so you guys will be able to see the shots as they come up. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and get started. And I think probably the first thing to do is, there's 2 different kinds of umbrellas. We've got the silver lined black backed umbrella, and those provide a little bit harder and more specular light. So if you've got somebody who's got shiny skin, if you've got somebody like Anna who's young and has wonderful, perfect skin, it works out really well because you can really get a nice sheen on the skin. But I think today what we're going to go with is we're going to go with a white shoot-through umbrella. I like the softness that this light provides. So literally, basically, actually, we just pop this in. And one of the questions that people have is, how deep do I set my umbrella or set my light head into the umbrella? Typically what I do is I just turn the modeling light on and then move it back until I can see, and it's hard because we've got video lights on today, but until I can see the edge of the light about an inch or so inside. So that way I know that all the light that's coming out of the light head is going through the umbrella. So what we're going to do is get started with this. But before we take the first shot, we've got video lights and stuff that are going on in here today. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that none of this ambient light is affecting the shot that we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our camera at its lowest natural native ISO, which is going to be 100, and then at the highest shutter speed that we can get that will actually sync with the flash. And for the Canon T3i, that happens to be 1/200th of a second. So you can lock those in at home before you ever get started on the shoot. Lowest ISO 100, fastest shutter speed that'll sync with your flash 200, and then we're going to see if we can get a black frame. If you don't have a light meter, I recommend everybody get one, but if you don't have a light meter, just start kind of at the middle of what the f-stop range is for your lens. This particular lens, we're going to start with f8 today and see what we get. And it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Let me turn this off. We're going to start at f8. You don't have to waste a good look because this is just going to be a black, frame. Nothing's going to show up there. And like I said, we're tethered into Capture One, and as you guys can see, we have a solid black frame. And so if I wanted to check and make sure that my exposure was right, I can go in here and I can grab the exposure slider and I can start moving that up, and we get up to 3.63, 3.16 before we start catching her detail there. So if I needed to do some work with this in post, and I need to, excuse me, I need to bring my shadows up a little bit, I've got plenty of room to do that before the ambient light in the room starts creeping in. So with that in mind, we are going to get our light set. We know that we've got our camera set for f8. So that's what we're going to be shooting for here, is to get this light so that it shows f8 when we meter it right under her chin, just like that. And so right now we're at f5.6. So what I'm going to do is ask you to take about that much of a step forward. We're going to readjust this light just a little bit here. And then we are going to remeter right under her chin. Boom. And that gives us 5.6.5. We're going to turn up the juice just a little bit. And we'll try one more time here. And that gives us f8. So we've got our camera set, and we are going to take the first of a few pictures here. So if you would do me a favor and point your shoulders toward that light. So just turn shoulders to the light, face to the camera. Nope, shoulders to the light, like this, and there you go. And then turn back the shoulders back this way, just a little bit. That's much better, right there. Let's see, focus on your eyeballs right there. There we go, and just like that. Okay, so we can take a look at this in Capture One, and we can see that we have really nice exposure on this side of the face. That's looking really good right there. But the shadows on this side are probably a little bit deeper than what we would like to have. So there's two ways we can do this. We can either set up a second light, but I want to save those for doing some other things, or we can use a reflector. And we are super, super fortunate today that we have an assistant with us. Anna's mom, Leanne. Do you want to come hold this? She's like, I didn't know I was going to have to do this today. So this is what we're doing. Do you see the angle that that light is coming off of? So if you would look at the camera, and so I want you to hold this so that the light that comes from here hits this and reflects right up on her face. You can see it just a little bit, but if you do it just based on the angle, okay, we'll be fine. So we just want to fill in that shadow just a little bit. Raise it up just right about there. Shoulders to the light, face to the camera. Good deal. There we go, right? Tilt your head to, there you go, right about there. So if we can see here, we'll take a look at this first two shots. So in this first shot, we can see right here where we have some pretty profound shadows that are going on this side. And then in this one, just that little bit has opened it up there. Much better with that one. Okay, so I'll tell you what we can do. Let's try something. You can come over here. Thanks so much for your help. Let's try this. Try this. She's like, I didn't know you had that. Why didn't you use that before? Pop this one right in here. Okay, so we can look in these pictures and we can tell. I really like the fact that the white wall has kind of gone a little bit of a gray because it kind of matches her shirt. So we're going to go with that a little bit more. Take a couple more shots with that. Let me get this. Which side do you think is your best side? Is it your left side or your right side? Tilt your head this way just a little bit, right there.
My left.
Your left? You like the left side better? Turn just a tiny bit more. Nope, this way. And then over the shoulder. Just chin up just a little bit. Right there. Can you see these? Mm-hmm. Okay. So now I tell you what, let's do. So we're going to bring some more lights into play right now. And what I really want to do, because we've got the key light on this side is lighting her hair up over here, I want to bring a little bit of light in on this side over here. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to use a grid on a light, and we're going to set it behind her. And what this is going to do is it's going to cause the light to be a little bit more focused in so it doesn't go quite so broad. I'll get this set up here. And the thing with doing key lights, or not key lights, but rim lights or separation lights, is you don't really want to aim them directly at the person. You kind of want to skirt it off of them just a little bit. So, oops. So we're not really getting direct light, but kind of feathering it off just a little bit. Let's see what we get here with that. Just about like that. And then I want to get a reading on that because I have no idea what that light is set at. So we are going to check this on her hair right here. That is f11.5, which is going to be way too hot, especially on blonde hair. That would blow that out quite a lot. Back this down, and that gets us f8, which should match the front, so we should be good to go. Alrighty, same as before. Turn just like that. Hold it. Come on, focus on. Oh, wrong one, Jason. There we go. Just right there. Again, helps if you put the transmitter on so the lights go. I'll get this figured out in a minute. Right there, just like that. So now do you see the difference in your hair in this picture compared to, say, this picture? Mm-hmm. So see how it's evenly lit on both sides? I'm not too crazy about it. I'm gonna move this in just a little more. Seems like it's just like, Jason, your equipment is super crowdy. Oh, try here. Let's take another light and put it on the background. So I'll move this over so we can get that to go a little whiter. And basically on a white background, the color of your background is going to be controlled by the amount of light that hits it. So the ratio between the distance from the camera to the model and then the model to the background determines how much light reaches the background. So with umbrellas, it's a little bit hard to do, but if we had soft boxes or maybe even some of the black-backed umbrellas, we could control the way the light falls a little more. With these shoot-through umbrellas, the light just goes everywhere, so a lot of it is landing on the background. If we were using a different light modifier, we could make this white background go completely black. But what we want to do now is we want to get this white background to go white. And so in order to do that, we are going to check and see what kind of exposure we're getting on the background right now. And we are getting, well, it helps if Jason pushes the button. We are getting f8 on the background, which matches our exposure for our camera. So depending on the angle of the light that's hitting the background, we may have to adjust that a little bit. But because the background is getting the same amount of light as the subject, and the background is white, we should get, you have to do that, yeah, like you do the like wide mouth and then the smile. So that relaxes it. Is that how that works? Ooh, that's super white. That is super white. Come on, catch up. Yep, we're blowing hair out there. Your eyes are super white. See that? One of the other things that frustrates me when I look at photos that have been retouched is when they whiten the triangles in the corner of the eyes and it makes alien eyes. Have you ever seen pictures with alien eyes? Because they make the whites too white and then it doesn't look natural. Now I'll show you the difference here. The exposure on her face in this one and this one are exactly the same. This up here hasn't changed. This exposure is exactly the same as this exposure, but because that background is going white, it makes it look, this picture looks a lot brighter than this one, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. But the exposure values on your face are exactly the same. There's no difference in that. Maybe a tiny bit. But we're picking up a little bit. Maybe turn it down just a touch more. Just a touch more, and we'll shoot one more, and then we'll do some real pictures because we're done with this. I know this is like, you're like, this is the most boring stuff I've ever done.
No.
No? How did we get? Maybe did you step forward a little? Take like half a step back. That's that light hitting you on the. That's because I told you to take a step back, and you stepped into the light on that one. Right about there. Much better. Much better. All right, so we're going to wrap this deal up here with a little bit of recording here. Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully this tutorial has shown you guys that it is possible to capture some pretty amazing images just using sort of a basic entry-level lighting setup. We'd like to thank the amazing Anna B for hanging out with us today. Hey, I tell you what, there will be links down in the description for all the equipment that I've used, and then also I'll link to some of the original resolution images so you guys can take a look and compare. But hey, as always, like, comment, share. Have a great day.